Hi guys, I'm here to show you the iris folding that I did, and I'm no expert at this, but I'm just going to show you what I did, and so you'll get the general idea of what you can do. I found this pattern, I think it was on Google, and there was no key. I think it was a Swedish person that actually had done it, and the pattern was there with the numbers, but there was no key. And let me show you the key. This is the, hopefully you guys can see this, I'm kind of doing it sideways here. You have to have the color key and the order the numbers are supposed to go in. So what I did was, I went and I printed out, this one's by Judy Hedrick. This was a different iris folding pattern, but I wanted one that kind of had that spiral for the inside, like this, of the umbrella, but you have to have the key in order to know which pieces go down in what order. So I used this one. I printed it out and I cut out the inside, which is kind of tricky, you know, you poke the center, and then I kind of just went like this, and then anyway, you guys know how to do that. So then you have the center open, and this one's already colored, but I just laid this down so that it was kind of centered on that pattern there. Now if you do a regular iris folding pattern, I mean, you're going to get something like this, and you're going to have the key, so you won't have to do this. You'll just follow your key, which is up here. And then I just kind of taped it down. And I use washi for this whole project. I've seen it done with different stuff, but I use washi. So, and then I just want to tape that down to my pattern so it doesn't move around. Okay, now the key, you have to decide which colors, and I would suggest messing around with that a little bit first, because what this one did is, you see how it made the pink spiral and the yellow spiral and the blue spiral, and I found when I started doing these patterns, when I cut my strips, I cut these in 1/2 inch increments, that when I picked them up, and I only did a couple of strips at a time because I didn't want to cut an entire sheet of paper and then not use it, because I actually had paper left over. But I tried to pick up, when I was doing, this one umbrella, the same, whether it was all blues or all reds, this pattern and this pattern, I tried to pick up similar ones so that the spiral would look the same. Now if you use solid colors, it doesn't really matter, or mostly solid. But just keep that in mind when you're putting this together, how they look, because sometimes they don't look right together, and it doesn't give you that effect. And then basically I just took, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, I just took and I snipped off little pieces of those papers and stuck it next to the letter that I was going to be using. So blue was A, this little flower pattern was B, the little pink was C, yellow was D, and E was the larger flower pattern. So then you're going to look for the numbers, and this one's kind of hard to see because it's underneath, but I did however many, 12 of those, so I know how many there were, but there's the 1. So you would, look up here, A says 1, so you've got your blue, and then you're going to stick it down. I hope you guys can see this. You're going to stick it down, see this line right here, and you can't see the 1, but the 1 is up under there. You're going to stick the bottom of your paper, obviously you're going to do it this way, and you're going to, tape your pattern upside down. You don't want to tape your pattern this way. But you're going to put that pattern all the way across from side to side so that it touches both sides over here, so you don't have any gaps. And then you're going to slide the edge of your paper, this paper right here, to that line. So you've got a nice straight, and it's not hard to do. Just stick it down on there, and I just used washi. And you want to make sure that your washi is not sticking into your pattern, which it is right there. It doesn't matter if it sticks over, because mine, I cut it out. If you're doing this on something where you already have the size, then you wouldn't want your washi to stick out beyond the border. Okay, and then you're going to go to your next one. Your next pattern is B, which is this one, and B is number 2, so you look for number 2 on your pattern, which is right here, and you can see the bottom line. The bottom line for 2 is right there, so you're going to stick this line onto that bottom of 2, making sure, again, like I said, that your white paper is not showing through, and then just tape it on there. And some of them I layered a couple of them before I taped them. I didn't tape every single one. And then C is this pink pattern. So C is 3, so you're going to look for 3. There's 3 right there. So I'm going to put my 3 down right to that line. And I'm going to tape it down. Okay, and then D is yellow, and that's a 4. So you're going to look for 4. Like I said, I did so many of these, I kind of know where they are, but there's 4 right there. And like I said, if you didn't have to do what I did to get your pattern, you wouldn't have to be lifting that up. You would be able to see the numbers very clearly. And then you just keep taping them around in a circle. So you got E, which is this pattern, is 5. Let's see, there's that 5, yeah. There's 5. I'm just going to tape it right to the edge of 5, making sure that you've got your ends, you know, not sticking out like that. And then you just keep going. Okay, so A, 6. 6 is the next number, so you put that right on top where 6. See, there's, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's 6. You have to do them in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6, and then you just get some more tape. I basically kept the roll of washi in my hand while I was doing this. I only pre-cut those for the video, but anyway, I just kind of kept it in my hand. And then you tape down 6. Just keep going, and then obviously 7 is next, so you look to see where 7 is. 7's in B, which is that paper. So then I'm going to stick the B right there, making sure that it didn't move. This is kind of, you have to be kind of precise. You can't be real sloppy with this because it won't look right. Okay, and then 8 is the pink pattern, and then you put that down here so it's lined up. Make sure you don't have any holes or anything sticking out over the edges. You want the pattern paper to go all the way out. Okay, so then you get done doing that. I'm going to lift this up so you can kind of see. It's really, really very simple. I think the hardest part was picking paper that I thought would, you know, coordinate and actually look good. But there you go, and you can see how it's starting to form that really cool pattern. And there's just tons of these. Some of them are real intricate, you know, where the iris, you're supposed to be folding this paper. That's where the whole thing came from, is these papers are not supposed to be strips. They're supposed to be folded. But because I'm not going to do that and it took too long, and I think this looks really, really good just like it is, I just cut strips. But that's where the iris folding is supposed to come in. These edges are supposed to be like crisp and folded. But I thought, even with this, it wasn't real bad. And this one's stuck down with foam dots, so you can't see. And it was a little thick, but I mean, this is a Project Life Card, so it wasn't too bad. In my opinion, it wasn't too bad. But it's fun, and it's a really, I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous technique. And like I said, there's patterns for everything. I mean, they have wedding dresses and cats and whatever you can think of, they have it. You just need to have a key, you know, to the different excuse me, to the different things, so that you know what papers go where, because it's too hard to try to figure that out. It gets real confusing. But anyway, I hope that helps somebody. Like I said, it looks hard, but it's really not hard. It is a little bit time consuming. You know, the larger the pattern, obviously, the more paper you're going to have, and you know, the more numbers you're going to have. Sometimes the smaller patterns probably would be a little bit more difficult, or the patterns that are a little bit tighter together. And some of the patterns split, so you have two different, you know, things going there. But other than that, it was really simple, you know. Alright, hope that helps somebody. You guys leave me a comment if you have a question. And good luck if you try this technique. Thanks for watching. Bye.